Insta. Spooling up a couple cameras. Guys, welcome to Jiffy's live feed. Super excited to be here tonight. We're going to kind of do a slow intro, let all the cameras feed up. But turning where you're watching, we're actually running two cameras. We're coming live from the Jiffy Facebook page as well as live from the Instagram page. So we got two totally different audiences, kind of different sets. Everybody's kind of seeing different things because of the camera angles. But I can tell you, we are excited to be here. Again, coming live from the Jiffy outlets. So yeah, but right now, how many people are here? Where are you coming in from? That's the biggest thing. Was we were kind of spooling up this feed, watch where everybody's coming from. We had questions and comments from Idaho, Montana. We had everything to New York. So we had a wide audience in some of the promos and some of the questions leading up to tonight's feed. So throughout the night, let us know where you're from. And to start this off, some of you are familiar with live feeds, some of you might not be, but the whole concept behind this is to engage with you, our audience. So my name's Nate Zielinski. I'm coming as a pro angler on behalf of Jiffy Ice Drills. But the concept tonight is to engage with you. We want to know your questions, your comments. I'm going to introduce to you literally one of the most power-packed, exciting product reveals, we'll call it, that we've ever had here at Jiffy. So we're literally launching 4 new ice drills. We're launching basically the new Jiffy Spice fish seasoning. We have a whole new product line that's available on the website. I mean, we have, workout bottles, mixers. There's so much stuff coming out live from Jiffy. So we're trying to do these live feeds, introducing these products, but most of all, we want to talk ice fishing. I don't know how many of you have been to retailers lately, but the ice fishing products are starting to roll out. We're starting to see some shelters. We're seeing some rods and reels, tackle, things like that. So ice fishing products are starting to come out and display at retailers, and it's one of those situations that ice is here. Whether you don't want it, you want it. I talk to so many people. I know people that just love summer, and they're like, man, I think we just got out of winter. We can't come back into it. But you have other anglers like myself that live for ice fishing, and I cannot wait for that ice season to come around, let alone the fact that I got these new drills to be poking holes with. So I know that ice season cannot come soon enough for me. So again, that's kind of the long and short introduction. Again, my name is Nate Zielinski. I'm actually doing this live feed from Colorado, which is kind of neat to have ice here in Colorado, simply for the fact that we will have ice in October. So I am literally a month away from being able to hike up to extreme elevations and find ice, and in some situations we have ice until June, even July. So I'm kind of in a neat situation where if I'm willing to hike for it, if I'm willing to look for it, I can find ice a lot of times of the year, simply for the elevation that I have. But again, I know we have people watching from Canada and from north to east, so we have a wide range coming on here, so we're excited about that. But again, no longer delay, I'm going to introduce these products, but as I mentioned, this night is about you. It's a live feed. What questions do you have? We're going to start off talking about the augers, and we're going to go straight to you, our audience. We can talk about the products. You can say, hey, I've never fished before. I have a question about ice fishing. That's what this engagement is all about you, our audience. I can tell you, this is a whole new Jiffy. The new products are awesome. The engagement that we have, I'm sure you've been seeing a lot more social media than you've ever seen. We're going to have these live feeds quite often. We have them scheduled through the entire course of the fall and winter. We're going to have live feeds with myself on the ice. I'm going to take you guys walleye fishing. I'm going to take you pike fishing. We're going to do these feeds from the ice where you can talk to us. We can show you rigs. We're going to catch some fish. So long story short, got a lot of stuff coming. Make sure you stay tuned and bring your questions. Right now, hit that share feed, hit that like. Let us know if you like what we're talking about. Let us know if you have, again, topics, and share this with your buddies. I know so many of us have people that maybe need some help ice fishing. You never want to be blunt and just say, hey, Jim, you really need to step up your game. This is one of those times. Hit that share button. Include them in this conversation. Let's make everybody a better ice angler. So hopefully that helps you out. Number one. All right. It's time to talk about some products before we go to these questions that are filtering in. I see the questions popping up. So again, we're going to start talking about it. Our flagship for this coming winter right here. This is the Jiffy Rogue. How many people have heard of this? Give me the thumbs up if you've heard of this drill. Guys, this is, again, the absolute ultimate when it comes to power augers. This is going to be an electric auger. It's going to have 2 speeds. We gave it the name Rogue because it is absolutely crazy. It drills through ice faster than any ice drill I've ever seen and faster than any ice drill on the market. I have raced them all. I've tested them all. I have literally put every auger that I know of in my hands up against right here the Jiffy Rogue, and nothing compares. Again, 2 speeds, so you have a slower speed, a fast speed, or the turbo speed if you want to call it. You have forward and reverse. You have lights. It is coming with this new composite shaft, so extremely lightweight shaft. This comes in a 6, an 8, and a 10-inch bit. Has the ripper blades on there. It's an 80-volt electric battery. So that, again, the batteries, or the motor is going to be 80 volts, 1,300 watts, and again that 80-volt battery there. So a lot of power. One of the coolest things about this, even though you have this big 80-volt battery, it comes with a rapid charge system. So you can plug this in to an inverter in your truck, plug it into your fish house, plug it in at home in your garage. It charges extremely quick. I mean, literally, it's not like you'd have to plug it in for an extended amount of time. It doesn't take a day, it doesn't take a night, a couple hours, and this battery is back in full charge, allowing you to poke those holes. So that's kind of that system, the flagship. Again, nothing like anything you've ever seen. It's a different look, it's a different feel, and it's got more power than anything out there. Now, the one thing I want to talk about this is an angler's perspective. I just read you some of the stats that come from Jiffy. That's like on the brochure, some of those things. What do some of these things to mean? What do they mean to me as an angler? As an ice fisherman, I guide, I tournament fish, I do TV, I host tournaments. All facets of the ice fishing world I'm involved with. So I'm not just a person coming to you, from the manufacturer, somebody that is, is helping design this stuff. I am an angler myself. I literally spend at least 90 days on the ice a winter. So again, I spend more time standing on ice in the winter months than I do on land or at my house. So keep that in mind. So everything I'm talking to you from is from an angler's perspective. So what does all this drill mean to me as an angler? Number one, how many of you, and this is an honest question, you don't have to lie, I'm not trying to, pull feet here, but how many of you have not switched to the electric world simply because you're that power guy? Hey, I want to have a motor. I want to have the most power I can possibly have. I've been that guy, right? I still love my 4Gs. I still love the 32-stroke drills. I want to have the most power I can possibly have. So switching over to electric is different for me because I want to have that raw feeling in my hands of just boring holes, spinning that prop shaft or that auger shaft as much as I possibly can spin it. But that's where the Rogue comes in play. Now I can take an electric unit like this. Again, I'm going to be spinning that shaft at 500 RPMs. That's external. I mean, you are absolutely ripping with that bit. And I now have the feel of that power drill. I now have that raw power in my hands to where I can outrun anything on the ice. Nothing is going to drill a hole faster than that Rogue. So that's kind of the concepts there. Another couple cool features. You can see these handles are kind of designed to kick out. Again, when you're talking angler's perspective, we want to make sure we can drill those holes. We don't want anything awkward. It's not about how it looks, it's how it feels. So for me standing here, when you stand, you never stand straight like this, right? We always cock our elbows a little bit. We're just standing here now. Look at how you're standing while you're holding your phone watching this live feed. We kind of stand with this gesture with our arms out. That Rogue right there fits right into your hands, and you can now drill. So it's kind of more, designed for that comfort feel to be able to drill faster, harder, and have no fatigue, no elbow soreness, nothing going on. So again, that design right there is 100% comfort for you, the angler. Has your lights built in, which are awesome. I can't tell you how many times I use the lights for drilling holes, but more so, set it on the side, set up for the day, tear down for the day. I walleye or crappie fish at those low light hours. I now can just flip those lights on and have all that. Again, switching over from the traditional metal bits to now this new composite bit, which is absolutely incredible to be able to have that lighter weight bit. So again, from head to toe, totally new design. From head to toe, nothing like anything that is available in the ice market. I can promise you that. More power, more features. Absolutely incredible. So that is the Jiffy Rogue. Again, kind of the flagship of Jiffy for this coming winter. But definitely do not miss out on the Jiffy Torch. How many of us have been, or how many of you, I should say, have been asking Jiffy, hey, I want to run my cordless drill. I need a bit to run in my cordless drill. We've heard it for multiple years. I've been a part of it. Hey, I'm just doing a quick walleye guide trip. I don't want to take out a bigger drill. I need something smaller. Right here, the Torch. This is the Jiffy Torch. It is going to come in 6 and 8 inches. Got the ripper ripper blade. It's got the cup wire on top in case you don't fasten it up and it falls in. It's going to hold it up. This also comes in a carrying bag, so I can now throw this in the bag. You've seen the videos. Throw it over my back. I can throw my lunch. I can throw my tackle. I can throw my rods and reels. I can throw everything in the bag that the torch fits in, and I can now go to the lake with everything. One-stop shopping. I got my drill. I got my rods. I got my tackle. I got my food. I got my bait. I got everything that I need. So again, you talk about a lightweight package, something extremely kind of, environmentally soft, friendly. Everything about this, absolutely amazing. Super lightweight option for any of your ice drills out there. Very excited about the torch. Again, that's going to come in 6 and 8 inch. Does have the ripper blades. Does come with the bag. Everything that you need there. Again, as we talk about products that are absolutely new to the ice fishing industry, I know you guys have questions. We're going to go through these 2 products, then we'll start jumping to them. Guys, this right here, this is the Ice Scout by Jiffy. So, in regards to that, Jiffy cares about your safety. Jiffy wants to make sure that every time we step on the ice, we are stepping to where we know we are on ice, of the condition to hold our weight. As a company, we'll never say safe ice, but with this, we can make sure that the ice we're standing on is stable enough to hold our weight and to keep us on top. That is the Scout. How many times have you been on the ice where you're not carrying a spud bar, right? And you're walking out there and you're like, oh, do I really want to take out my auger and drill a hole every 20 feet to make sure I'm on safe ice? I get it. Again, I'm the angler. I'm with you on this. I know how many times where I'm like, I should check the ice, but I don't want to stop. I don't want to take out my drill. I don't want to make more noise. I just want to keep walking. That's where right here the Scout comes into play. Extremely small, drilling a 2.5 inch hole. You can now just stand here, burn that hole real quick. You then hook your bottom bit onto the ice and you have a measurement. It's upside down, so as we stand here and look, you can now measure your ice. This takes a half a second to drill a hole. It's quiet. You're not going to spook fish. You're not going to, make other anglers upset by making so much noise. You now walk, burn that hole, hook it under the ice, look down. Hey, I'm still on 8 inches of ice. I'm good. Move it. Keep going. We put a long enough shaft on here. You can do it from your snowmobile, an ATV. You can lean out of your truck. Check the roads that you're making. The Ice Scout is all about your safety. Again, it's tiny. It's very affordable. It's one of those things that if you don't want to, use a spud bar anymore, you're worried about your shoulder, you don't want to carry a larger drill to check that ice thickness. This right here, guys, it's all about the Scout. Burn that hole, check that depth, keep moving. It's going to keep you safer every time you're on the water. Now, to kind of shift things, one of the other things that we found out, kind of after the fact of how amazing this is, right here, 2.5 inch diameter, most of your transducers will fit in that, and all of your cameras, or at least on the micro sides, all fit in that. So now, you're set up inside your fish house, instead of having to drill multiple holes, especially if you want one for a transducer or a camera, now you can burn a hole with this and drop your transducer, all of those type things right inside this smaller hole. So now, kids aren't stepping into the hole. You're not worried about, making more splash, losing fish down an extra hole that's there. You now have that smaller diameter right there. Drop that in, burn that hole. It's a great additional hole for all of your accessories inside that shelter. So the Scout right there, again, priority keeping all anglers safe on the ice. If it's convenient to check the ice safety and the ice thickness, you're going to do it. If it's not convenient, you're not going to do it. And that's where that Scout comes into play. And it's absolutely incredible in those regards. Now, we're talking about another feature that is brand new to Jiffy. Right here, guys, we've got the Jiffy hand drill. This is going to come with more of those laser slide blades. So it's a shaver blade system. This is going to come in 6 and 8 inches. The 2 features of this that are absolutely incredible. Number one, you can remove this screw right here, this bolt pin, and it allows you to add distance. So if you are a youth angler, you're shorter in stature, you can drop this down to where you can put all your power into it. So many of the hand augers on the market are not adjustable enough in height. They have a little bit of adjustment, but not enough to where now you can put this to where it's lower than your shoulders, to where you can actually put some torque down there. So again, if you can put pressure down, it makes it so much easier. If this is way up high, you're just not comfortable. You don't have enough torque going down and enough pressure to really drill that hole. So in regards to this, you can now move that up and down to where you have pressure going down to drill that hole. You also have the awesome feature to pop this and be able to move these handles. So a lot of features there. So again, you can drop the handles, you can adjust the height, so many great things easy configuration right there by Jiffy. So those are those products in the ice drill line. The hand drill is available again in 6 and 8 inches. So again, 6 8-inch model on that, 2.5 on the Scout, 6 and 8 on the Torch, 6, 8, and 10 on the Rogue. All those brand new products from Jiffy. Absolutely, again, I think so much energy went into it on behalf of Jiffy in kind of the concepts of being for the angler, and then you cannot miss out on the spice. Before we go to our questions, I got to throw this out there. You know, the family, it's a family business. The true owner of Jiffy right here is a great cook, and he designed his own spice line. It's absolutely incredible. One of the coolest things about this, not that we necessarily need to go down this road or care about it, but there's so many seasonings that they're adding so much stuff to, you know, to try to create the ultimate vibe, and you can almost get on that unhealthy route. This right here, guys, very simple seasoning. It's very clean, very healthy. So if you're looking for that kind of healthier seasoning spice that has everything you need for the ultimate in cooking fish, beef, pork, chicken, this is it, guys. I promise you, this is not a gimmick. This is one of those things that you have to check out. We just ate some food with it the other night. Absolutely. So it is, again, a spice from Jiffy. It's clean. It is a great spice, and it's simple. So keep that in mind. Again, a lot of stuff from Jiffy. So again, I know that was kind of a ramble on of our products. I see the questions blowing up. We're going to jump to some questions right now, and then we'll kind of keep talking about product in between these the questions. But as we mentioned, this live feed is about you, our audience. I just did enough talking. I want to hear from you. What questions do you have about the products? What questions do you have about ice fishing? Again, this is the start of many live feeds coming up. Jiffy is all about you, the angler. This is a whole new kind of concept behind the new forward motion of Jiffy, and we're all about you, the angler. We're about safety. We're about engaging with the anglers to just make the ultimate in ice fishing. So let's hear what the questions we got here.
Can you talk about the weight of the Rogue?
Yeah, the weight of the Rogue. So depending on bit, everything's going to change a little bit. The true power head is coming in, I believe, right at 20 pounds. We did keep the steel frames. That's one of the biggest things that we did stay with the Rogue. A lot of anglers ask, why didn't we go to composite on that? And the one thing that we will always stand by here at Jiffy is Jiffy Tough. There is no doubt, you look across the board, Jiffy has been known to have the toughest ice drills out there on the market, and we will continue to always do so. We will never, ever sway from that statue. So a lot of people have been asking about that. True power head's coming at 20 pounds, and depending on your shaft weight, you're going to kind of change from there. It is lighter than majority of all the drills that we have out there now. So again, we did step up the lightweight with the composite, but the overall weight's going to change due to your bit size. But just to kind of throw that out there, we did not change on the steel frame of the top. Again, you can take this drill, you can throw it, you can kick it, you can sit on it, you can throw it out of the snowmobile going 50 miles an hour. You are not going to sway from the Jiffy Tough mentality there. So it is lighter than majority of all the drills that we've had out there now. So definitely lighter than anything we've had, but we stuck to the steel frame there for the overall Jiffy toughness. So kind of keep that in mind. So a lot of great stuff there. And here shortly, I can drop the comments after this feed, or anybody that's watching it, we can drop you in the weights depending on which bit size you're running on that to help you out with those answers.
Single or double blade on the Rogue?
The Rogue is going to be a single blade, so it's the ripper blade. So you got that serrated edge like we've always had. So again, in the concepts of this, you are going to be able to drill through anything. So you can see the blade configuration right there. You know, by having that serrated edge, that ripper edge, the nice concept behind that is if you get out there and you have sand, so people don't realize how much the wind will blow debris, sand, dirt, I mean, you know, debris, whatever you have on the ice. As you have those small pieces of debris on the ice, as those blades hit it, they will dull fast. If you have a straight shaver style blade like we have on the hand on, if you hit enough debris in time, it's going to dull those blades and you literally can't drill a hole. If you have a ripper blade, even when they're dull, when you put downward pressure, you're always going to be able to rip a hole. That's kind of the concept behind the ripper blades in there. So it's pretty neat to see that. So it's a single blade, ripper blade, and so many drills are going to the concept of a shaver blade on their high-speed drills. This is a personal thing for me. I'm just going to tell you right now, as a pro staff, I'm allowed to say this. This drill right here absolutely smoked all the drills that I've used. So we put them up against all the competition and kind of a little side bet when I was testing this motor. So when I was testing this entire system, I ran it against all the brands that I've seen. And it was fast and it beat them all. That is with a single ripper. If you were to put a dual shaver on there, it wouldn't even be funny. It probably wouldn't even be fair. We probably wouldn't even be able to release it. So kind of keep that in mind. Absolutely a dynamite head, but it's a single blade. It will go through anything. So sand, debris, again, I can't push it enough. We stuck behind Jiffy Tough while making that product for sure.
Can you do some close-up on the Scout?
Yeah, absolutely. So on the Scout kind of concepts here, it's going to have I believe a 3/8 inch bit head. Again, your top plate right here is going to be wide enough to where even if this were to come off your drill, you're not going to lose the entire system. Again, you have your measuring tape up to 30 inches. So 30 inches right there. So you're measuring there. So you basically are going to hook through this. You have a triangle bit, so dual cut. That's going to rip through there. So dual cut triangle head. You then have your flighting right here, which is going to pull all of your extracts of your shavings off. So all your shavings are going to come off right through there. Then you basically hook. There's the flighting. You're going to hook this on the edge of the ice, and it's going to show you your ice numbers. Again, it's upside down for you right here, but as I'm standing here through the ice, as I hook it and pull up, I can see where that ice is at. I know exactly how thick my ice is. Again, so super lightweight. We try to make it convenient, because again, if it's convenient, you use it. If it's not convenient, you won't. So it's so awesome to be able to just bore this through, hook it, tell you your depth, unhook it, pull it out, and move on. Same thing like I said for cameras or any of that usage. It's going to be 2.5 inches. Absolutely. This is one of the coolest things I've seen for ice safety in regards to that. And again, now that we do have the availability of running the torch with a cordless drill, you can just have, the Scout, your torch in one bag, the bag that it comes with. Basically have one drill, switch between the two, and you are on the ice safe and efficient all day long with that concept there. So,
is that Scout going to be available for purchase?
That Scout will be available for purchase. So guys, I know that we've been seeing a lot of ice gear starting to hit retailers. Obviously, we have an entire lineup. All of these will be available for purchase this coming fall. I don't have the exact information right in front of me to say, hey, you're in the northern region, you're in the Canadian region, you're in this region, when those will fall in your particular retails, but they are all coming this fall. So this is not a 2022 lineup. This is a true ice fashion 2021-22 lineup. So all these products will be available this coming fall. And price points will be available on the website here real soon. I can tell you right now, this is extremely affordable. I know that we even had situations of us, burning holes in dirt to plant flowers and stuff. That's how tough that product is. So it's pretty neat. But all these are available this fall.
Can you talk a little bit about fishing for lighter weight fish?
Yeah.
What kind of tackle would you start with?
Absolutely. So guys, again, while we're switching gears here, we're talking products. Again, this feed is all about you, so do not hesitate. I've seen a couple questions coming across. I have a screen kind of facing me, and I can see people ticking the products. We can talk anything ice fishing related here, guys. This is your time. This is brought to you by Jiffy, for Jiffy, for all of our loyal followers and anglers. So we're going to talk fishing right now, but again, questions about products, questions about fishing. This is your time. We're going to stay live for another 10, 15 minutes. If you have questions on anything, whether you are a seasoned veteran or brand new to ice fishing, we would love to answer your questions. Before we jump about talking ice fishing for lighter fish, my background, I'm here in Colorado, but again, I run a massive tournament series called the Ice Addiction Tournament Series. We get 1,000 anglers on the ice. I guide on a regular basis for trophy lake trout, walleye, pike, bluegills, crappies, sunnies. We do a lot of trout fishing. So as a Colorado angler, we're very wide range by species. So we're very happy to talk about any species of fish, so keep that in mind. We do have ice of all fashions. So if you've dealt with it, we've probably seen it, and we can definitely talk about it now. In regards to talking about light fishing or fishing for maybe panfish or some of those lighter species, kind of a broad question, but again, we'll ask any question out there. So if you're new to angling or you're maybe just looking for some tips on fishing lighter tackle or fishing for smaller fish, anytime that you're fishing for that smaller fish, whether it's a perch, a crappie, a sunny, or a bluegill, the biggest thing is, I'd say, number one, to match your equipment. If you're fishing for that smaller fish, using a heavy action rod and heavy line, usually you're fishing smaller tackle, it never lines up. So kind of match all your gear and not just one piece. I see so many people that use a smaller jig, but they still use heavy line or heavier rod, or they switch to lighter line and a light jig, but they still have too much of an action on a rod, and they're overworking the bait, or they're just not sensitive enough. So the biggest thing in concept of fishing some lighter tackle, some lighter baits for some lighter fish, match everything. You want your entire concept, your entire rig, from reel to rod to line, to all match. You all want it to work together. A system as an ice fishing rod, it truly is a system. The reel affects, the angle that goes up to that first guide, and your drag system, how well that drag will work. Your rod is so many purposes. Your rod is, number one, delivering action. When people select a rod, so oftentimes they select the rod for the fish they're going to catch. So they say, oh, I'm fishing for walleye, I'm fishing for 5-pound walleye, so I need a rod big enough to handle a 5-pound walleye. Or, man, I'm fishing for a 20-pound lake trout, or a big brown trout. I want to make sure I have a heavy action rod, but you can't land that fish until you get a bite from that fish. You have to activate that fish into taking your bait before you can ever dream of hooking it or landing it. So the first process with selecting gear is think about the technique you're going to use. Hey, I'm pan fishing. I'm going to use a real small jig, a 1/64 ounce tungsten head, small plastic body, so light jig. So then I want light line. Okay, so I'm going to run light line. Then I want to have a rod that's going to have good action. If it's too stiff, that bait's going to jump all over the place. If that rod's too light, it's going to bend over like a wet noodle, and none of the action that I'm displaying on the rod is going to go down to the bait. So it's all a system. So the line is to match the rod to the reel and everything. So think about that. When you're selecting the right tackle, or you're approaching your day, you have to get a bite before you can set the hook. You have to set the hook before you can land the fish, but it all starts with getting bit. So you want to make sure that your equipment is ideal for the technique that you're doing. So keep that in mind. Have the right technique. That's going to create bites. Once you get the bite, make sure you can set the hook. Once you set the hook, make sure you have a rod capable of landing that fish, and that's kind of that process. Now, that was probably the most crazy rant for a small question, but hopefully that helps you out and answer the question that you were looking for there. So, we got any other questions?
The gas auger is still going to be available?
Absolutely. So we keep getting that question. The gas augers will still be available. Obviously, we're putting a larger spin and push on electric just as it's coming available. And honestly, people are asking, why is that? Is it environmentally friendly? Is it user-friendly? It's all of the above. The availability of the technology in electric has gone so strong. We were not one of the first ones to jump on it because the batteries weren't there. The motors weren't there. Nothing was there, and more in regards to the batteries, to be reliable. Again, we are at Jiffy. We are about Jiffy Tough. We're about reliability. How many of you who own a Jiffy auger have received it or have an auger from your grandfather, right? A lot of us can raise our hands. We can hit that thumbs up button. We have. If you do a study of the true Jiffy following, so many of us are like, man, I still have an auger in the garage that's been 2 generations old and the thing still runs great. Jiffy is about reliability. Jiffy is about Jiffy Tough. So at first, the batteries just weren't capable of producing what we wanted as Jiffy Tough. Now, as these batteries are getting better, we're able to get into that electric world and produce the products that you need. To be able to spin a bigger head, spin that ripper blade, have the products that we want powered by electricity. So yes, we are making some big shifts to electricity because it's powerful, it's silent, it's reliable, it is very user-friendly. You can throw it in a car, there's no orders, you're not spilling anything. So we love going that route, but we still know that we definitely have the audience in that gas market, and those augers aren't going anywhere. So obviously we're still going to have 4-stroke gas. We still have the 2-stroke augers available. So right now the Jiffy lineup is larger than it's ever been in regards to having all of these products available. So again, keep that in mind. Everything will be available. And I encourage everybody, just keep going to jiffy.com or Jiffy on Ice, or go to the website. And then always follow our Facebook page or Instagram page. We're doing more and more on these social feeds. And before I cut us off, we're going to wrap it up here in just another minute. But I'll walk you through kind of what our plan is in our social media outlets coming up. But we have a ton of social coming up, and those socials will always direct you to the products that are available, new products, and everything that's kind of coming out behind Jiffy. So, we have any more questions, or can I kind of talk about our next social feeds?
Just one quick question.
Yeah.
What's your favorite fish to catch through the ice?
Absolutely. We actually get that question a lot. It's crazy. What is my favorite fish to fish through the ice? I mean, they're all fun, right? It's one of those things that, I tend to fish for trophy fish and target giant fish, but I get a great day at catching crappies and I'm smiling from ear to ear, and it's like, you know, I overlook some things from time to time. But we have a particular bite in Colorado that I think is probably extremely unique and is probably the most entertaining thing I've ever done. So we have big lake trout, big Mackinaw, right? You have them in Canada, you have them, you know, in the Great Lakes, but we have these big lake trout. So a big lake trout might be 40 pounds. A normal fish is like 20, 25 pounds. So they're a big fish. I mean, you know, you're talking 38 to 42 inches, huge, mouth's giant. Their pec fins are as big as your hand. I mean, they are a big fish. We have an opportunity at a handful of lakes where these big lake trout feed on rainbow trout. So anytime that you have a shallow water food source like a rainbow trout, the lake trout come into shallow water to eat them. So I have a regular bite here in Colorado in the winter. It starts in December, November, December, and it tapers all the way to May. But I have opportunities to where I can ice fish for these big lake trout in less than 10 feet of water. So I am sight fishing 20 to 40 pound fish. So I'm taking a heavy action rod, I'm taking big 6 to 10 inch tube jigs, big plastic baits, big musky lures, saltwater baits, all this big stuff. And I'm gonna take this auger right here. So I take my Rogue and I drill one vertical hole, right? So I take my Rogue, I drill one hole straight down. I then take that Rogue and I drill a hole at like a 45. So I'm drilling a hole at an angle. So I can sit inside my fish house. I have one vertical hole that I'm putting my rod in. I then have another hole at an angle that I can sit here and I can watch that bait. So I'm in 4, 5, 6 feet of water, and I'm watching that big bait, that big plastic, and I can see it crystal clear out of my angled hole, and I watch 20 to 40 pound Lakers come in and take that bait. I mean, they literally look like a great white shark with these giant pec fins moving around, and they swim in and smoke that bait. So if people ask me that all the time, what's your favorite fish to fish for? Sight fishing giant Lakers. Even though I love targeting everything else out there, there's nothing like watching the biggest predator of all time come in and smoke your bait and be able to watch the entire thing happen. So hands down, that's probably my favorite bait and tactic and fish to go for in the winter. Just because there's nothing like it. When you watch that, your heart stops when you see this fish come in. You're so nervous. Sometimes you don't even know if you set the hook. You're just like, oh, is he going to take it? Like, what do I do once I catch that thing? It's so big. So that's kind of that thing there. Now, guys, we're going to kind of wrap it up for the evening. I just want to talk to you about what the future beholds for us. So, obviously, all these products are rolling out. Stay tuned to all our social outlets. Stay tuned to the website to when these products are going to be available in your region. Again, I know that they are packaging. They're working on this 24/7, but you'll start to see these products in the near future at the retailers near you. So, keep that in mind. I know that so many anglers have been asking us, hey, I'm buying a new drill this winter. I want to see what Jiffy has to offer before I look at the other brands, things like that. This is the walkthrough of what they are, but again, stay tuned. Check out your local retailer. They are priced right, and there's nothing on the market that's going to compare to these products out there, so keep that in mind. As far as other things, again, we're committed to these live feeds, so they're kind of starting off slow as we're still into fall, but as we start getting into December, we're going to start going to almost a 2-week schedule of these live feeds. We are dedicated to you, the angler. We're going to talk species specific. We'll have nights where we'll just talk walleye and panfish. Maybe we'll have big predator nights talking pike and lake trout, but we're going to have live feeds dedicated to education, the latest in tackle, the latest in gear, to really enhance your ice fishing skills. Our goal is to make every ice angler more successful this coming winter. So this is all about your engagement. So stay tuned here and make sure that you look out for when we're having these live feeds, because again, it's all about building you up, answering your questions, and making sure that you are more successful. At no point do we want you to walk on the ice and be like, man, I'm out here. What do I do now? We all run into frustrations on the ice. We're going to be here as a brand of Jiffy to help you guys catch more fish this coming winter. So stay tuned with that. We have a lot of stuff coming out. We have a lot of dedicated content coming out. So as the ice season hits, we're going to have a ton of edited fishing. Again, I promise you, we're here to make you a better ice angler this winter. And with that, we have the most dynamite, power-packed, reliable, tough, amazing product line we've ever had. So much stuff coming from Jiffy. We're excited to be here. Guys, I was your host tonight. My name is Nate Zielinski. Again, I'm based in Colorado. I'm one of Jiffy Pros. Guys, we have got a huge lineup of professional anglers, branded as pros or ambassadors from Jiffy. We're all going to be producing content. See who these Jiffy Pros are. Go to the website. Go to the Facebook pages, the Instagram pages. See these other pros. Follow them on these social media outlets. Again, we have a lot of content coming up, and I can tell you this entire team is dedicated to make everybody a better angler. But again, tonight's feed, I was the host, Nate Zielinski. On behalf of Jiffy Ice Drills, thank you so much for coming in. This is one of our first live feeds. We'd love to hear it from you. We're going to go back and read all these comments, read the questions. So if we didn't get to anything you had comments about tonight, we will get to them at a later time. But I promise, even if this feed, if you're watching it 3 days after it's been live, comment below what you want out of this. Say, hey, I love this live feed. I wish you would have talked about XYZ. We have a lot of live feeds coming up, so always, we thrive on your feedback, and I promise, we are listening. Half of these products came because we listened to you, the angler. So give us the comments. Let us know what you want to hear about. We will build it into our next live feed, guys. And again, my name is Nate Zielinski. Thank you so much for watching tonight. On behalf of Jiffy Ice Drills, have a great night. We'll see you soon.